Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the November meeting of the Melbourne PC Users Club. Welcome to those who are in the room and to those who are in the room and to those who are online and those who will watch the recording afterwards. But our first presentation is from a new business called Minireal, which has only been going for a couple of months. It's located in Bayswater and it's presented by the principals Sunny and Kaye and their son Arnold. And I find what they're doing is absolutely fascinating. The club has a 3D printer, and I remember asking David a couple of months ago, do we have a scanner? Because I had in mind when my granddaughter was approaching the age of 21, wouldn't it be great to do a scan of her and turning her into a figurine? And wouldn't she value that, you know, in 10, 20, 30, whatever years old? But we don't have a scanner, so it didn't happen. But Minireal are actually doing that, and I can introduce you to Sunny and Kaye, and these little figurines are actually of them, and I think they're absolutely wonderful, and I'd like you to welcome Sunny and Kaye, and they'll tell you all about it.
Hello everyone, I'm Kaye from Minireal, and it's a pleasure to meet all the members here tonight, and I want to thank the MelbPC UC group for giving us another opportunity to share our exciting business. It's a new business, 3D printed figurines. And Sunny mentioned that we have already talked about 3D printing last time. So this time we are diving back into the world of 3D printing, but with a fun twist. Can you imagine having a mini version of yourself, or for your partner, or for your kids, for your children? So that's what I'll show you today. So this is a table of contents. So now have a look. This is the agenda. So we will cover about us and then Minireal story. It's a small story, and 3D printed figurine method. There are 3 methods to do a 3D printed figurine, and I will show you how to do the mini-me. And the last one is customer experience with us. And first, I'd like to introduce our company. As some of you may now familiar with us, Sunny owns 2 companies. The first one is Noyan. So under the Noyan, the Fashion 3D, which mainly sells 3D printers and materials like filament or resins. And the second one, also under Noyan, is called Focus CAD, which provides 3D software solutions to our customers. And our latest one is 3D Link. Under this brand, Minireal focus on providing professional full-color 3D printed figurine for our customers. So this is our Minireal story from Sunny. Also you could say its origin. Sunny had the idea as far back as 2000, but back then both the technology and the cost were not the most acceptable for customer. So you might have seen many left real figurines somewhere, but Sunny always believed that the final results were never truly perfect. So in July of this year, we realized all the conditions has finally been met. So that's when Minireal was born at this time. So next, I will introduce 3 methods for 3D printing figurines. So the first one, we use photos to 3D. So our collection method is like if you give me like 2 or 3 photos, and then I can do the 3D modeling, and then I can do the a modified 3D model. So you can see there are 3 pictures to show how to do the photos to 3D. So the middle picture shows FDM printing or resin printing, but there's original color. There's no painting, and after that, you can do the painting. So there's a big difference with us, because our products without painting after do the 3D printing. So for this method, actually it's very usually common to see it, because one of our customer, they do this 3D printing business by himself. So it will take so many times to do it, because you will have many skills on the 3D modeling, and then you have to learn how to modify 3D model. And then the biggest difficulties is the how to do the hand painting by yourself with full colors. And the third method involves using a handheld scanner. So with this approach, you don't have to build the model by yourself. However, each scan takes about 15 minutes, making it difficult to hold a single pose without moving. And the scan models are typically printed using full color powder 3D printer, which do achieve full color, but the final product often has the noticeable layer length and the grainy texture. You can see the left picture on the PowerPoint. That is powder printing. And I have a video to show you. So this is how powder printing looks like. After you do the printing, you have the post-processing to clean the extra powder. Yep, so this is powder printing. So the finally one is our 3D printed figurine method is photography studio. So we have the booth in Braeside where it's very close to us. So welcome guys to have a look. Just walking in our photograph studio and have a look to check how it works. So for this one, so for our method, the front end is a photography studio. We in this booth to collect your photos. We have 80 to 90 cameras in this booth, and then we just need 1 second or just 2 seconds, and then we can have 80 photos of you, and then we can have the 3D model by AI software, and then we can print it out. You can see the left 2 pictures to see the surface quality. I think there's a big difference with the before. There's also a video I want to show you. So you can see it, there's no painting after 3D printing. So this is post-processing actually, because there's some extra resin on the figurine. And this is how we to do the me or mini you. So first of all, we have a booth to scan you, and then we can collect the photos, and then we have the 8D modeling to have the 3D model of yourself, and then we have the model refinement. But when we take the picture, we don't have the filter when we take the picture, so we want to show the real me or the real you in our final figurines. And the final step is 3D printing. So there's a video of me to show you how to do the mini-me.
Just had the most amazing experience creating my own 3D figure. I visited a company that specializes in 3D scanning and got to see the whole process of turning myself into a mini version. After about 2-3 weeks of anticipation, my figure finally arrived. Unboxing it and seeing every little detail was surreal. I'm absolutely in love with how it turned out. If you've ever wanted a one-of-a-kind keepsake, I definitely recommend giving this a try. Just had the most amazing experience creating my own 3D figure. I visited a company that specializes in 3D scanning and got to see the whole process of turning myself into a mini version. After about 2-3 weeks of anticipation, my figure finally arrived. Unboxing it and seeing every little detail was surreal. I'm absolutely in love with how it turned out. If you've ever wanted a one-of-a-kind keepsake, I definitely recommend giving this a try.
So actually, I should wear this outfit today, but sorry. So our 3D printing figurine technology is by SLA. So we print the figurine by resin. We use resin and the UV light to cure the resin layer by layer, and then we can have the final products. So we use the resin to print, so it will show us the higher surface quality and the highly durable and the highly stable. So it can assist the high temperature, but not too high temperature. So you can keep this figurine for a long time. And there are some application scenarios. So you can do for your family or for the couples or for your children and also for your pets. I think we can capture the nice moments. These are our last month, our customer experience in our studio. So you can see there's some culture, like cosplay. They can wear their favorite outfit to capture that moment. And also, this is pass. Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. And also, there's a very cool man, Batman. He met us, I think, last 2 weeks. I think this character is from Star Wars. And this is Sunny. I can show you again the Batman. And thank you everyone for listening. And also, if you are interested, you can follow us. And there are good news for the promotion. So only for the MelbPC UC group membership, we offer you 25% off in this month. And also, if you have a team like over 10 person, you can offer the extra 5% off. Yeah. Welcome, guys, to have a look in our studio.
Kaylee, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm astonished actually at what you're doing. And for those who are in the room, there's some figurines that you can have a look at on the table. And have we got some more brochures somewhere? So for those who are in the room, a brochure. For those who are not in the room, the website is www.minireal.com.au. So Mini is Minireal. So www.minireal.com.au is fairly easy to remember, and they're located at Brayside. So I think we've got time for a couple of questions.
I was just wondering what the rough cost was for a figurine.
The cost? Don't worry the price, because you have the discount. You are the member here, the membership here.
I think it starts about 168, doesn't it, or something?
Actually, the price depends the size, because we have 9 centimeter size and 12 and 15, even bigger. So more bigger, more expensive, because it will cost much more material to print.
So the prices are on the brochures, and if you go into the website, I'm sure you'll find them there. And it depends on the size that you want. And don't forget to tell them you're from MelbPC for a 25% discount.
No, it was more trying to understand the costing. So it appears to be that go to the website and key in the parameters, the size of your figurine, etc., and you get the data from there. Thank you.
Yes, it depends on the size that you want, the size of figurine you want.
I have a question about body scanning. Do you get the data from the body scanning for use in other purposes, like clothing or stuff like that?
So we actually had a customer had to do this. He was making helmets, so he needed to get a rough head shape, so he knows what the helmet should be shaped like, and he actually used a 3D scanning booth to make it.
Thank you, Arnold. Are there any other unusual things that you've seen people scan?
That was Arnold, who's 12. How old are you, Arnold?
12.
12 years old, who wants to join the club because he's interested in Raspberry Pis. So that was Arnold
That's
answering
fantastic.
that last question.
Yes.
How have you gone with scanning pets? Do they sit still long enough to get a good scan?
So your question is how to do the scanning for the pass? Yeah, it's very easy to do it, because it just take 1 or 2 seconds. And also you can stand in the booth with your pet. Yeah, so you can control or, yeah.
Yeah, so in the booth you've got 80, you say 80 cameras or so?
Yeah, 80.
80 cameras.
To 90
So you're
cameras.
surrounded, so they all go click at the one time.
Yeah, so you don't have to wait like 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Whereas if you've got a handheld scanner walking around, you've got to stand still for a longer time than I could.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one scenario where someone had to stand for 15 minutes? Can you explain about that?
Yeah, the hand scanner, it will take a long time to do it. Yeah,
But they don't do it that
because just
way.
one camera around you, but we have 80 and 90 cameras at the same time to capture you. Oh, I see. Yeah.
So you've got to go to Brayside though, you see?
Yeah.
They can't take the photo booth to you, so you need to go to Brayside.
Yeah.
Just a minute. Arnold, you leave them.
Yes.
My dad has been thinking about a portable photo booth, but currently we can't really do anything about that, and we don't have one. So you have to go to Brayside.
Okay, thank you, Arnold. Do we have any more questions online?
Any more
or
questions for Arnold?
Any more questions here? No?
Look, I think it's all pretty clear cut. What's being offered and what you have to do if you would like one. Look at the website, give them a call, go out to Brayside, stand still for a second, and the photo's taken, and within a couple of weeks, assuming you pay some money, you get your figurine, and I think it's a great thing.
Is there time to get it done before Christmas? Yeah.
Right, yes, and plenty of time to get it done before Christmas. That's a great idea for a Christmas present, isn't it? Actually, you could probably do the whole family and do a number of figurines so each one could have one. Do that, yeah. Family price as well. Tell us about the family price.
You can check the price from our website. I can't remember the exactly price for the family, but if you do for your family or for your case, we can offer you a more discount for you.
I think when I looked at the brochure, it said you can get a 25% discount for being MelbPC and another 5%.
Yeah, if you have a team over 10 person, you can get extra.
10 over 10, okay.
5% off.
So some of you have got smaller families than that. You've got time to enlarge
Can
them.
I ask a question? How do they do a group scan?
Yeah, we can do the group scan, but one time we can only scan 2 people in the booth. And then if you want to do like if your family have 4 people, we can scan 2 and then 2, and then when we do the modeling in the software, we can put them together like this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, then it's my duty to say thank you very much to Sunny and Kaylee for coming and giving us that presentation. And I'm going to be out there seeing you one day, that's for sure. And thank you for coming and sharing with us. And congratulations on what you're doing. It's very creative, and I'm sure you're going to be very, very successful.
I have a question. Sorry. Just with regards to painting, so you can auto paint, like have the printing do the painting, but do you find that lots of people just do enjoy colouring them in, like that's a thing that they like to do?
But you need to the painting skills, because I think it's not easy to do it if you're a beginner. But we have a customer, he enjoy to do the painting after the 3D printing.
That's something we could do here. You could come here and paint your figurines.
Yeah, because this is full color 3D printer. So this is the difference from the monocolor printer. So I just print it out. I don't have to do the painting. It will save your time to get it.
Do some people want to do the painting? They'll request like a...
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And then do they come out with a better thing, maybe better quality, or is it the same, or is it...
I think
Depends.
it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah. I will bring more models. Maybe next time I will show you a print by resin printer or by the filament, by the FDM printer. and then someone can do the painting, and you can check the difference. Yeah.
I think if you want to do your own painting, you need to be fairly sure that you're a pretty good artist to start off with, otherwise you'd stuff it. We have a small presentation for you to say thank you for coming. And this one's for Arnold. And I'm sure you'll share it with your dad, won't you? Thank you. And thank you again very much. Thank you. But Kate, you're there, aren't you?
Yes, I am here.
Good on you, Kaye.
Hi.
Kaye North is online. She's you're in Queensland, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
What part?
Sunshine Coast.
Oh, good on you. Kaye's going to talk to us about Code Club Australia. And as I understand it, they're very motivated in helping very young people, children, primary and high school age, get the hang of technology that might be useful to them. And as I understand it, you get funding from Telstra Philanthropy
Foundation. Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So would you like to tell us all about it, ladies and gentlemen? I introduce you to Kaye North.
Thank you so much. I am just going to put up some slides, if I can just share, that I'm going to talk to. Thank you for inviting me along tonight. I'm really excited to be able to share Code Club Australia with you and what it is. I have been the Community Engagement Manager for the last 3 years, and prior to that, as a teacher in schools across Queensland, used Code Club resources to help teach in the classroom as well as have lunchtime clubs. So Code Club is a global organisation that runs as a not-for-profit, and we support volunteers in any capacity to run computer coding clubs for children aimed between the ages of 7 and all the way up to 17. It began in 2012, and in 2015 they joined forces with the Raspberry Pi Foundation, which has been fantastic because they do a lot of research into computer science education, which really determines a lot of the work that we do. So Code Club is currently in over 69 countries around the world. We have got clubs absolutely everywhere, and all of these are run by volunteers. And I guess the mission is the same. We just want to give every kid the ability to have the skills and the confidence to shape their world. And whether that's them designing video games, which seems to be their real drive and passion, but more and more we find it that kids are coding to solve problems and create digital solutions, to know how to wire their home network at home. You know, there's so many different reasons for it these days. Code Club, we kind of work on our 3 C's when we're thinking about what Code Club is all about. It's about kids being able to create. It's about helping them to be able to work together. And all of this is based around the concepts of coding. As a teacher, that idea of computational thinking is the key driver in all of this. It kind of determines so much of the work that we do, and that problem solving and resilience comes with it. So the lovely photo on screen here is myself with a group of students at Edge Hill State School up in Cairns. We had created a new project that was using the Indigenous language of the tribes that are up there, and we were testing a project and they got to help me out with it, which was heaps and heaps of fun, and at the same introduced a code club to their school, which has now been running for the last couple of years. Code Club has got many things that drive us, but we want to ensure that it's accessible to everybody, and we do that by providing all of our resources for free. We are very fortunate in Australia that the Telstra Foundation does fund the running of Code Club, which means I can run it as a full-time job and ensure that we've got heaps of resources to give out to our volunteers, but also that I spend a lot of time creating new coding projects for our kids that are Aussie-based. And I am the support person that reaches out to, we've got about 2,300 volunteers across Australia at the moment. So if they need support, I'm there to help them out. Code Club is all about being flexible. We've got so many different ways that Code Clubs run. We have them in schools, in classrooms with teachers teaching the curriculum. We have them in schools as lunchtime opportunities. We've got them as before school and after school clubs. We've got clubs in public libraries that are run by the librarians who have no coding experience whatsoever, but are keen to support their community. We've got them in community houses and neighbourhood houses. We've got some that are run online. We've got homeschooling families. We've got what used to be called coder dojos, which are sort of the older students, but also bring in physical computing elements. So they're working with Raspberry Pi devices or microbits or breadboards, and they're creating physical robotic kind of solutions as well. And our other bit for Code Club is that it's always fun. We want kids to engage, to build something that has meaning to them, that helps them within their community, but also gives them a chance to make new friends, and particularly friends who share the same interest as them. So Code Clubs work by, firstly, finding volunteers, and that's kind of the biggest part that I have in my job. Finding volunteers who are very keen to work with kids and to run a Code Club. Finding a venue usually comes second, but we need to ensure that it's a safe and a public space to be able to make that happen. And then it's about sharing all of the resources that we have and engaging and inviting kids into the space. So volunteers can be absolutely anybody. It can be people that have no experience, or it can be people who this is their all day, everyday job or their passion. We encourage everybody to come along. Doesn't matter if they have experience or not, everybody is welcome. It's just about being there to be able to support kids to be part of that learning journey as well. And we do ask that in some capacity you can provide a club that is on a regular basis. So I've got some clubs in Darwin who have 5 volunteers every week at their club. They're always there. They absolutely love doing it. We've got other clubs that have a rotation roster between 4 people, and so they're only there once a month running the club, but it's always open for the kids. So it's whatever works in the area. So volunteers are responsible to be the leader of the club, to be able to look at what projects or what work the kids are going to do within that coding club, be able to communicate with the venue itself, and to just be aware of the policies and guidelines that come along with running a code club. There are some legal documents that sit with it, just around safety of children and those sorts of things that you do agree to. The venues, we just ensure that they have public liability insurance and that they've got a space to host it. Some places will have equipment that can be used by kids, others the kids bring it along, so lots of different ways that we can make those things work. Safeguarding is a very big one because we're working with children, so we ensure that any volunteers who are working with the kids hold a current working with children check, and that's a bit different in every state, but we do support people to get the documents that they need. And there is a safeguarding eLearn little 30-minute module that we ask people to take, just to be aware of the rules that sit around our code club. So in code clubs, we have got on the Australian website over 220 coding projects currently to choose from. They are all written with step-by-step instructions, which can be either read both in text, but also have visuals to go along with it to help all of the different learning styles of the children that are involved. The majority of our projects are based in scratch coding, which is block coding. In the technologies curriculum in schools, Our students up to year 6 or the age of 12 should be working with that block coding concept. Microbits also have block coding, which is heaps of fun. After that, they tend to move into the text-based coding. So we have projects offered in Python. We've got HTML. Microbit also swaps over to Java. We've also introduced Unity recently, and we're delving into the world of AI with some of our projects too, which has been lots of fun. As I said, each of the projects are there with step-by-step instructions to go through. I run a couple of different code clubs myself, and I always say to the kids, we've got the instructions, but at the end, all of our projects should look different because we've all got a different way of interpreting something or how we think the end product should be. And so I really encourage kids to play with the code and embrace it and improve on it and change it and innovate it and really turn it into something that has meaning to them. Because Code Club is something that we try to ensure all kids can access for free, we do choose platforms that are free to access. So Scratch Coding is one of the biggest and most popular around the world, but it's completely free. We've got Trinket that we use for text-based coding. We've also recently released a Raspberry Pi editor, which has been really good, but lots of people like to use the Moo software as well. Microbits are great. You don't actually need the physical components to see your code run. They do have a virtual microbit on screen, but it is more fun when you do have them in person. Registering code clubs are really easy. Couple of steps on our website to be able to register it, and then you get a wealth of resources to help you set them up, whether it's a greeting letter, posters, certificates, how-to guides, a whole bunch of different things are there. So lots of people often ask, what does a session look like? Well, they're completely flexible and open to the people who are running it and the kids that you have in front of you. But a general kind of way of going through is that you start with an introduction so that the kids all know each other, but you might give them an idea of what the project or the task is for that day, give them a bit of an example. Then the kids start working through the projects. Some kids like to work on their own, others like to work in pairs or small groups. It's kind of a bit of a mix. My code clubs often have a variety of projects that the kids choose from because they're generally all working at different levels. So we pick something that interests them and will progress their skills at the same time. And then we encourage at the end a bit of sharing time, whether it's 2 projects that are featured, or we do what we call a gallery walk where we walk around everybody's computers to see what they've made. Completely up to you guys what you might choose to do. Oh, that's a bit the same. So that in a wrap is kind of about Code Club Australia. We're all about supporting any volunteer who'd like to run a club to be able to work with young people. At the moment, about 85% of our clubs are teachers within schools who are teaching it as part of their curriculum. But what we find is that they like our resources because they don't know what they're doing and they're step by step. So code clubs in the community are really important to have, particularly from people who do code themselves, whether it be for fun as part of their work, to be able to share that engagement and that excitement and to inspire our kids to see where their career paths can go if coding is something that they do really enjoy and do feel successful at. So anyway, Code Club in a nutshell. I'm here if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer anything, have a chat, whatever you guys need.
Any questions?
I'd like to know if you've got code clubs for over 70s.
Absolutely. There are some clubs around that are people who just get together to have fun. Our projects probably don't quite what people follow, but they do come together to create things. So at the moment, my background is the Moonhack Coding Challenge. I've had some older groups come through and enter into that. We have the Astro Pi competition that's running at the moment. We have coolest projects. So there's always something happening. But yeah, there are some people that come together and have fun with it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't see any other hands up.
Do you have any people over 70 running code clubs?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
Absolutely.
fantastic. Tell us,
Yeah.
tell us all about it.
Yeah. I find that mostly these are people who, with their local public libraries, have got together to work with librarians to run code clubs for the kids. I know that libraries are really keen to run a code club, but without somebody who feels confident about the coding aspect, they're reluctant to actually put them on. But yeah, when we look for volunteers in the community and be able to connect to public library spaces, that's really awesome. There's a couple too that I know, particularly up in Darwin, where they've connected in with the Australian Computing Society to be able to run code clubs at some of their digital hubs that they have. And that's been great because it's about inspiring all the generations. So yeah, heaps of fun.
Have you got a contact in Melbourne?
Oh, let me see. I will reach out. There's a couple around. I know that, Kirsten was going to talk to Trevor at Altona North. He's a great contact to be able to have and to set up some things. So he will have some people to reach out to, I'm sure.
So if Kirsten could get that information, that would be great.
Yeah. I can put my feelers out for a few more people too.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Kaye, thank you very much.
No worries. Pleasure to meet you all.
I have more questions.
Oh, sorry, Kirsten.
Go, go.
Kaye, if we want to start a club here, how do we go about it? What do you recommend?
Yeah, well, I guess the first thing, because you guys have your own space, don't you?
We do, and it's so empty.
Yeah. So first step, I would say click the register button on our website just to get those little bits out of the way. And then it's about reaching out to your local community. So whether you put some flyers or posters up, it could be the public library, shopping centres. Often schools are quite happy to drop a little note into their newsletter to be able to let families know that you're going to run a code club. And yeah, it's just sort of seeing who will be your volunteers, who can commit to what day, time works for you, and yeah, think about your resources too. So are you going to ask kids to be able to bring computers along? And if they are, what does that look like with internet access? Just those sort of little steps. So, and we've got lots of information to help you with that stuff on our website too. And I'm always here at the end of the phone to answer questions.
How many volunteers do you recommend we talk into joining up before we start advertising? That's question one. And question two is, what's the difference between Coder Dojo and Code Club?
Okay, I'll start with the volunteers. I would start with 2 to 3 to begin with, just see how you go with numbers of kids that come through. If you've got 2 to 3 people, then between 10, 15, 20 kids, you're going to be quite okay to run with. So yeah, consider what you can have available and who's can commit and how often they can commit. Code Club originally was for the younger age groups from 7 to 12-year-olds, and Coder Dojos were more your older kids from 13 to 17. Recently, Raspberry Pi has consolidated those two, and we all just run under the Code Club banner now. So within Raspberry Pi, they sort of had all of these people doing a job for Code Club, and then they had a second lot of people doing it for Coder Dojo, and it was really spreading them thin. So yeah, it's just all code clubs now. But often the difference would be that Coder Dojos would be more hands-on with more physical components. So whether they were using microbits or Raspberry Pis to build things, getting into more robotics, joining kits using servo motors and, you know, lots of really cool physical computing stuff. And then also quite more heavily in text-based coding, and definitely jumping into lots of work with data and spreadsheeting and stuff like that. So that was the difference.
So we had a kid mention to me the cool thing about Coda Dojo, we called it, with our long-time wonderful volunteer, Avon. So they said the really good thing is you get to talk to other kids about code. And that kind of struck a chord for me, kind of remembering back in the day, I don't know how many other people did it, just hanging around at the tech bookshops in Melbourne, kind of hoping to talk to someone. So can you speak to that a bit more?
Yeah, well, code clubs are definitely that kind of space for kids. You know, in schools these days, every child is involved in learning coding in some capacity because it is the curriculum, but it's not that area of passion or interest for everybody. So code clubs are often that spot where they can come together with kids they've never met before, but they share that same interest and passion. And what that then creates is this lovely collaborative environment where they all learn from each other and inspire each other and, you know, encourage them to try new things and do new things with code that they would never have thought of before. And it's probably part of the reason that I run several code clubs myself, because it's exciting to have those kids come together, to see them light up when they're like, you know, oh, that person actually thinks I know what I'm talking about, because they do. Whereas in a classroom, you know, they might not be the greatest at English, or they're usually pretty good at math, because math and coding go hand in hand, I think. But it just does bring those groups of kids together that do share that same drive and passion. So it's a lovely environment to be in.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Peter Carpenter, sorry.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Thanks. I'm just wondering how it works. Do they each have their own device and laptop, or do they have a shared screen, or they copy and paste between each other, or what?
Yeah, so it's all a little bit different depending on what you can set up and provide. So one of my code clubs runs from a university, and so we're fortunate that we have laptops there. The kids come along, but it is a case where they have to work with a partner. So that is lots of fun sometimes. Sometimes it's not great, but we always work through it. Ones in schools, there are kids that bring their own devices along, and you might get some, you know, some Windows devices, a few Apples, you might get a couple of iPads. So you kind of go through the motions of what that means for each different kid with accessing the coding project. It is very much determined by who will be coming and what resources you might be able to provide. And then it's about the kids getting into the coding project. So Scratch is a great one. It can be downloaded as software, so they don't need internet access to be able to get to it, but you can use it online as well with accounts and things. So yeah, it all looks a little bit different, and I'm happy to be able to chat with whoever wants to set up a club and talk through specifics to be able to help you out if you need it.
Yeah, it's good that they're actually writing the code themselves, because I understand professional coders are moving towards AI as the first draft.
Yes, and that is becoming quite common practice, and I know that some schools are doing that with their students in high school as well. For me, though, you have to be able to write it and understand it first before you get an AI draft to be able to pick it apart and improve it. So yeah, we want to teach them the basics first, and that's what we're hoping to do through code clubs and in primary schools with that core basics of learning it.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Can I ask, Kaye, do you have any tricks to get kids who are a bit shy to start interacting with each other?
A few little ones. So paired programming is a strategy that Raspberry Pi did a lot of research around and is shown to be one of the best strategies to use with kids who are coding, which is why at the university I'm quite okay that they have to partner up. But paired programming is about being able to work with different peers at different times. Sometimes they pair up just because it's a random name draw. Sometimes they pair up because you're putting a stronger coder with a weaker one so that they can learn and bounce off each other. So that's lots and lots of fun. There's also the excitement too, you know, of being able to say to the kids, you know, oh, I really love what you've done here. How about we share it with everybody? And that often boosts their confidence just that little bit, that they go, oh, I do know what I'm doing, or I've done something really good. And it slowly brings them out of their shell to be able to, yeah, share more often, talk with others. It's just about building that confidence.
Thank you very much.
Most welcome.
That was interesting. We like to thank our speakers by giving them a little bottle of pleasure, but
I'll have it virtually.
Kirsten will have one for you, but you need to come here and collect it one day.
Sounds good.
But thank you very much.
Most welcome. Thank you for the invite.
Well, we've had a good night tonight. We've learnt about Minireal and the little figurines that I'm sure I'm going to take advantage of that one. And we've heard from Kaye all about the Code Club, which is really good work. We've survived our annual meeting. Now, Harry, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Harry.
Right.
Now we're going to declare the formal meeting closed, Harry, unless you've got something you want to say.
Well, no, we go informal and then we chat.
That's right. So we're going to close the meeting formally, and then we can have Q&A with Harry.
Right.
So I'll declare the meeting closed, Harry.
Okay, fine.
And hand it over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.